just the postscript on the game. If, after watching the film, what seemingly went so right in the first half and then seemingly so wrong for most of the second?
Yeah, I would say execution. We executed at a high level in the first half. Second half, not so much. They give them credit. They executed better than we did. And then in the critical moments of the game, we out-executed them.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Coach. I realize 3 games probably is not enough of a sample size to stamp your offense with an identity. But with respect to how successful you've been throwing the football, when did you and your staff maybe make the conscious decision that you could be productive and successful with largely 3 and 4 wide receiver sets with very little off-season evidence or preseason games?
Yeah, Chris, I would say we're always going to put our players in position to be successful. That's the job of a coach. And so whether that means in this case 3 or 4 wides or 1 or 2 wide receivers, 2 or 3 tight ends, I mean, it's really just a game plan approach. And so, it may vary every week. But at the end of the day, again, that's the job of a coach, is to take what he has and put those guys in position.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, as far as just injuries go, I was wondering if you had an update on any of the guys that were banged up yesterday, specifically Smoke, Micah, Dion.
Yeah, we'll just see how they are. I don't have really any update for you today. We'll see how they are again tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I'll give you the best update I can. And
just a little bit more about on the Smoke, the calf injury. Was that on the same leg as his foot injury or the other leg?
I don't want to get into details right now on that. We're still evaluating his situation.
All right. Thanks.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, I know you guys have one away game under your belt already, but going out to Las Vegas this weekend, is there going to be anything different travel-wise, just because it's such a longer road trip than your first road trip, leaving earlier, leaving later due to COVID protocols and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, probably much of the same, Maddie, with respect to all the protocols. Our ops, like I said before our Miami trip, our ops staff does a great job. So we as coaches and players have to concern ourselves with very little on that end and just really focus on the game. And so that's what we expect this time. And I think we'll probably be leaving around the same time that we left a couple weeks ago.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, John Scott. Kind of on the injury front, you have some guys who are eligible to come off IR this week. Do you have any updates on those guys and what their status is this week and moving forward?
Yeah, we'll just see. You're right. We do have a couple, Josh Norman, John Feliciano, to name a few. So we'll just see how that progresses over the next couple of days. I mean, really just getting wrapped up with the film. Players are just, leaving. And that's really where our focus and attention has been this morning, this afternoon.
A lot of attention a week ago, at least from the outside perspective, was placed on Levi Wallace after getting targeted a lot in the Miami game. How do you think he fared yesterday? Yeah,
I really thought he played well. Obviously the interception was big for us. And, that came from film study and formation recognition, and thought he did a good job there and thought he tackled well. So I thought he rebounded well, and that's what we expected from Levi.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Coach, after watching the film and maybe getting a couple hours of sleep, have you ever been a part of a game that wild? Micah Hyde said it was definitely at the top of his list in his career. Ever anything like that?
Yeah, well, I've been in a number of games, I guess, when you get old like I am. But we were just talking here and saying how cool it must have been at the houses in Buffalo where the fans were going crazy, and how cool it would have been to have them in the stadium to have that, right? I mean, it's just the place would have been shaking, we said, and I think we're right on that. But yeah, just an exciting game to have that. Really, the pregame when the BillsMafia is flying the banner over the stadium, players saw it, I saw it. How cool was that, right? That we can be apart, but we can be together in so many ways like that. So it's just a unique bond that way, but a cool environment yesterday nonetheless. And really a special game to be a part of. But it's time for us to move forward and look ahead to the Vegas team and Vegas Raiders and be ready to go. A big challenge for us out there.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Adam Bonini, WGRZ. I thought it was interesting to hear Josh after the game refer back to maybe what he had learned from that playoff loss in Houston in terms of, trying to do too much in those types of situations. And when he struggled with his composure, how to regain it or whatever. And he felt like he applied some of that based on what he said yesterday. What's your perspective, I guess, on his growth curve, relative to what we've seen so far this year and specifically what we saw yesterday in that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of what we've seen in practice, and really going back to training camp, Adam, with the way he's approached his off season, even before training camp to now, tremendous amount of growth, and you learn through experiences. And we as a team have learned through shared experiences. And I mean, we've got 20 seconds or so on the clock yesterday. We're inside the 10-yard line, 5-yard line there, and there was absolutely no panic on the headset from our players on the sideline, from our players on the field. Just a lot of calm. And, whether it's Josh in this case or any other player or staff member, just, hey, we've been there a number of times before, and that's awesome.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Coach, good afternoon. Mookie Hawkins, 1-4 Sports 1080. How you doing?
Good, Mookie. How are you?
I'm good. You're never too old to develop, no matter how many seasons you play in the NFL. And, yesterday, Tyler Kroft, not only with the game-winning touchdown, but, I mean, he did an excellent job sealing the edge to allow, Motor to get that nice 19-yard gain on that drive. So how great was it to see Tyler Kroft rise to the occasion yesterday, Coach?
Oh, man, it was. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but you asked to pull our locker room. He's a well-liked guy in our locker room. He's got a great family. He's been through some adversity, in particular last season, and he, you look at the Pittsburgh catch he had for the touchdown to help us get to the playoffs last year, and then to come out, and he's just been a great teammate all the way through training camp. He's had a great camp, and he played a great football game. I mean, certainly we all have things to work on, as does he. But again, I give him a lot of credit, man, because he played strong through that play where he had to run through the linebacker and made a great catch in the corner of the end zone there. So that was not an easy catch, and he pulled it in. And he's developing as a football player for us, and we're happy to have him.
Absolutely. And turning the page, you are 3-0 going into Vegas. Just tell us your assessment of a John Gruden's offense.
Well, Coach Gruden, he's won a Super Bowl. He gets the credit that he so deserves. He's a heck of a coach. I've learned a lot watching him, being around him when he was on the telecast, and just talking football with him. So I've got a lot of respect for Coach Gruden and his football teams.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Coach, Matt Freno here. Tremaine spoke yesterday after the game about how, not making an excuse, but that he's still kind of working through, that injured shoulder, and he made a decision late to play, and he was glad that he made it. What was your takeaways a day later of his performance and how he was able to go out there and battle?
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that he put the team first and he gritted through it. We're hoping every week and every day gets a little bit easier for him as far as that goes. And collectively we did some good things on defense, but also collectively, starting with me, we've got to do a better job in certain situations and areas there. So, Tremaine's a leader on the defense, and we look forward to him getting healthier and having good weeks as we move forward here.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Josh Reed here. What needs to be better after looking at the tape as far as the run defense goes?
Man, you look really nice today, man.
I got cleaned up today for you.
Wow.
Not bad, right? It's the lighting.
You going to an interview?
My boss wishes I was going for an interview.
What was your question? Sorry, John.
What needs to be better as far as the run defense goes?
Well, it starts with fundamentals, and then it starts up front. That's how we work. Our philosophy is everything starts up front with our defensive line, and then it goes in the second level with our linebackers, and third level with our secondary. So, it starts with our fundamentals, and then gets into the execution. Every man doing his 1/11th, and we didn't do that enough yesterday, and that starts with me. I've got to do a better job.
I don't remember. It was either Quentin Jefferson or Mario Addison during the week. It said, look, if we don't stay in our gap, they will expose us. Is that some of what happened?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sure. You got it.
Hey, Sean, Mike, Catalana. You talk about fundamentals. You stress it so much. On the play where Gabe Davis got the penalty late, I mean, his job obviously is to run his route and catch the ball. But the way he runs it looks from the outside like you almost force contact by the defender. Is that a fundamental of a wide receiver? I mean, he got the call, and I know that's not his number one priority there, but he engages the receiver, and then he gets the call, and you guys get a first down. Am I reading too much into that, or is that something about the way he's supposed to run that route?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's maybe reading a little bit too much into it, Mike. He was running his route the way we coach it, the way Chad Hall, our wide receiver coach, coaches it, and Coach Dable, and they did what they did, and Josh we threw on time and threw to an open spot, and because of the bump there and the friction, we were off schedule a little bit there. So, so it gave us a new set of downs.
And to follow with that with Gabe, I mean, he had to have more snaps yesterday. He's doing more things for you. 3 games into his career, I know he's a rookie, but you have got to be pretty impressed by what he's done for you.
Yeah, very, very happy with where he is. A lot of football yet to be played, Mike, as you know. The cool part is, and the cool piece of it is very unselfish in his approach to this point. He's filling in for Cole 1 minute. Next minute he's filling in for John. Next minute he's filling in for Diggs. And so it's just a nice little thing they got going. And then for him to be able to execute at a high level while not being the primary guy at any position necessarily, I think says a lot about him and the way he's prepared during the week.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Sean. Matt Fairburn here. Points are up across the league early, in this season. Certainly not just in your games. What do you think it is about this season that's causing this? The advantage seems to be with the offense early on.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier today, Matt, and hard to say, right? Because you'd think it'd be the other way a little bit from an execution standpoint with the passing game and offensive football. But hey, football gods are at work, I guess, and I know what we've got to work on, and that's we've got a long list of things we have to work on our side here. So, So I mean, look, at the end of the day, we give credit where credit's due. Offenses are doing a good job. Yesterday, both offenses I thought played well, and defensively, I've got to do a better job here.
And I know so far there hasn't been any announcement on what's going to happen in terms of whether you guys will have fans at your next home game, but what's your hope, I guess? What's the hope in the building that next time you walk out into Bills Stadium that there'll be at least a few of them out there?
No, that'd be awesome, right? That'd be awesome, man. I miss our fans. But listen, whatever protocols are in place, that's what we go by, and we would love to have them. But even if they're not in our stadium, we know that they're in our heart. And like I said, man, flying the BillsMafia, flying that banner over the stadium was awesome. And when we go on the road and there are fans allowed, we know our fans are going to take up most of those seats anyway. So, we just can't wait to see our fans again because they're a big part of us.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, sounds like Fairburn and I are kind of on the same wavelength because I was going to ask the same thing. The county came out today and said that they would be open to having 7,000 fans inside the stadium. And obviously you guys can only control what you can control. But I wanted to know what the difference is between the 2 games you played at home and then the game in Miami, even though there were limited people there. what was kind of the vibe? How noticeable was it, even though it's so many fewer people than you would usually be playing in front of?
Well, it's crazy that I would never think it would be significant enough to make a difference, or so you could tell a difference when you're out there competing as we are. But because it's been empty for the most part, whether it's been our scrimmages, our games at home, and 2 of those now, and then the one on the road we went on, there was fans at this. So it's just, there's a marked difference. And then I've watched some games where there's been some fans. And I think, again, even though those numbers are smaller compared to what we're used to, that there is a noticeable difference in the stadium and in the environment, the atmosphere.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Sure.